In this first example, we need to find the vertex, axis of symmetry, focus, and directrix. One of the very first things I like to do when I'm trying to figure these things out with a parabola is figure out which way this thing opens. Is it up? Is it down? Is it left? Is it right? It's going to be one of those four things. If we take a look at the y term, it's being squared. The x term is not, so this will definitely open left and right. And p is going to end up being negative here. Or there's a negative value being multiplied by the x. So that tells me that this will open to the left. If we draw a little graph of this, we don't know where it's going to be just quite yet, but it's going to be something that looks, you know, maybe like this. Who knows? But just a quick sketch to give us kind of a clue as to what's happening. The center of this thing, or I guess I should say the vertex, actually that's the better term and the proper term, we need to look and we need to see what is happening by the y and by the x. It turns out in this case that nothing is really happening. So the vertex for this one is going to be at 0, 0, so maybe I should have drawn this one a little bit closer. I just use these quick sketches to help me figure out which direction the thing is opening. The next thing we need to do is find the axis of symmetry. So to find the axis of symmetry, it's going to be right through here. And all we need to do, in this case, this is a horizontal line, so we know it's going to be y is equal to some value, and all we need to do is look at the vertex and figure out what the y value is. Turns out it's 0. The next one is the focus, and then we also have to do the directrix. So if we do the focus is going to lie somewhere kind of inside. I tend to think about this being inside the curve. And we need to go from the vertex, we need to go in this case left by whatever p is. Or we need to add this value divided by 4. And let me let you think about this for a second. So if you take negative 8 and you set it equal to 4p and you divide by 4, then you're going to get p is equal to negative 2. There's two ways to do this. I prefer just to keep this as being p being a positive value, but some folks like to keep this being a negative 2. And to find the focus, you just need to add negative 2 or add p to, in this case, the x value because we're moving left and right. And if we do that, if we add negative 2, it's actually negative 2, 0. Another way to think about this is if you just go to your vertex here, which is at 0, 0, and all we need to do, if we've drawn a quick sketch like this, is say, all right, the distance between the vertex and the focus is whatever p is. And p is 2 units, or if we take the absolute value of this, that gives us 2 units, and so we just got to go 2 units to the left. It's the same thing as adding a negative 2 or subtracting 2. No difference. It depends on if you think more graphically or maybe a little bit more algebraically. You can use either one. But anyway, the focus is going to be here at negative 2, 0. The directrix is going to be on the other side of the graph, so it's not going to be by the focus here. It's going to be on the other part. It's going to be p units away, and in this case we have a vertical directrix, so we know that it's going to be x is equal to some value. The x value we're looking at here is 0, but we need to go right 2. So it's just going to be x is equal to 2. Some people would say, all right, take the x value and you're going to subtract p, and if we subtract negative 2, that's going to be positive 2. So that's a total fine way to do it. If you've learned that way in the past, no problem. If you think that way, that's great. I tend to just think about this as being, well, if we go from the vertex, we just need to go right by whatever the value of p is. In this case, p is 2. So if we go right 2, we get to an x value of 2. Either way, it doesn't really matter.